On this episode, we received the brand new chassis from Roadster Shop for Project 59 Chevy El Camino. But was the $25,000 price tag worth the money? I break it down for you and give you my final thoughts. Let's go. Hey, how are you? Yeah. Thank you guys, appreciate it. How's the trip? Can't believe it. This has been a push to get the chassis. The Roadster Shop came through with their promises, which was great. These guys tag teamed, and these guys don't stop driving, which is pretty incredible. One guy sleeps, one guy drives.
Yeah.
How many hours? 40 hours?
40, because we have the discount, gas
Well, at first glance of our new chassis for the Project BLK ICE, it definitely exceeds my expectations. Although the chassis is completely covered with rain and slush and dirt from the 2,500 mile road trip, I can see right away the design and engineering is top notch. We ordered the chassis with complete 4-corner brakes, also the engine and transmission mounts, and of course, as you can see here, it's already been powder coated. These guys are great, but they on one of these BMWs there was fraud, so they couldn't pick it up, and that was the last car they needed to actually cross the country. So they're not going to cross with only 3 or 4 cars. They want a full trailer, so they couldn't pick up our chassis. And I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, if you guys cancel on us, we're going to go back in the queue, and we're going to get pushed back another week, and we don't have another week. So it was super stressful. So I talked with these guys. I'm like, you guys, please go get that chassis. Tell me how much more you need. I'll get you cash. So we have cash for them. And they came through. They got here in 2 days, which is incredible. They picked this thing up Tuesday morning. They're here Thursday morning. These guys are troopers. They run 24 hours a day. So super grateful.
Thank you so
You
much.
need to use the restroom, bathroom?
No, thank you so much. Send me your YouTube link to us.
Yes.
We'll put in our website.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you guys.
This is the DHM delivery service. We did the car hauling job. Our phone number is 631-882-6685. We deliver and pick up all over the America. Please give us job. Thank you so much.
This is a damn beautiful chassis right here. I don't have to do anything to it. I love it. Yeah, a little dirty, but a little wipe down.
That's okay, so were we.
There could be something off here then.
Okay.
Because I have, this is the one with the clipped washer, position number 2, this one, which is here.
The clipped washer is, so it's like like a section of it's cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What for the
Firewall.
body mount firewall, right? The
Yeah.
firewall body mount. Okay.
So I'm assuming that's the position right there because we know that one's firewall. Then we got 3,
Okay.
and then
And who knows, how much we're gonna have to space these up.
yeah.
That's another thing too.
Yeah.
The Roadster Shop chassis may look completed, but there are a few things that we need to take care of before the body can be mounted. The first one being the fuel lines. Roadster Shop does not supply a fuel line, fuel pump, or fuel filter with their chassis, so we opt to use a Corvette style filter and regulator with stainless and braided hosed mixed fuel lines. Next comes the bare brakes. We're running an 11-inch rear caliper and a 13-inch front. The important thing to note here is although the professionals at the Roadster Shop chassis have assembled this product, we're checking every single nut and bolt and also greasing and lubing every bearing and component, which requires lubrication. Once the front end brakes have been inspected and reassembled, we torque every single bolt to spec. As they say, the biggest difference between a technician versus a mechanic is a torque wrench. Nigel finishes the front brake installation and then moves to the rear brakes. The rear brakes have a combined emergency brake inside of the rotor, which is a great cleanly design. After we finish the rear brakes, then we move on to the body mounts, and then finally ready to drop the engine in place, followed by the 59 El Camino body. So here we are with the Roadster Shop chassis. Nigel has the whole thing assembled, and this chassis came to us powder coated and I'm gonna say 90% assembled, which was so cool. As you saw, it was delivered with the Gunny wheels, or the Gunny wheels, I think they're pronounced, and we've got a set of these. This is our second set. These things are great. But we just paid for the Gunny wheels, and then what we were able to do is skip the whole boxing and crating process because the chassis was already powder coated. So it was on the wheels, it went right on the truck. It was awesome. So we were able to just have a standard auto transport, bring the chassis. Yes, it was subject to the elements. When it got dropped off, it was kind of covered in sludge and sleet from all the snow when they crossed the Rockies, but it wiped off since it was powder coated. So here's where it stands. It came with the brake lines, all in stainless. This is the Revo 3 chassis, called the Stage 3 Revo chassis. So it's the 4-link with the panhard bar. It's got the big 9-inch housing, coilovers in the rear. Pretty standard go-to hot rod stuff for the rear chassis. We have 11-inch rotors drilled and slotted, bare brakes, 4-piston bare calipers, and all the lines are done. So that's so nice. The rear's completed. Moving up, we ordered this chassis for an LS and a 4L60/80 trans. So the mounts, in theory, should be ready to go. I love the fact that these engine mounts to the chassis are just massive and beefy and gusseted. This is super cool. They've got the clearance right here for the steering, double D shafts and U-joints, which is well thought out. The other way we ordered this was with the 1-inch sway bar, and it actually runs through the chassis and pops out on each side, and it's connected with a big arm. And it's like, man, I don't know, 28 spline or something. Super cool design. So it sits right in here and it's completely protected and covered. The upper and lower control arms are massive, definitely oversized. And then moving to the front brakes, we ordered this chassis with the 13-inch drilled and slotted rotors and larger 4-piston bare calipers. I think everything went together for Nigel pretty smooth on all the suspension. The only thing we did find is that the body shim and mount kit was a little bit kind of laxed on their instructions or directions, and we had to actually open up the body mounts on the chassis a little bit with the die grinder, and then we just brushed some Rust-Oleum in place where we opened it up so we can protect the bare metal from any corrosion. That was really, I think, the only thing we came across that was a little bit unusual. They also shipped these chassis without a fuel line or a fuel line design. So we just kind of came up with our own, and there's a couple things on that aspect that I didn't really like. It's, you know, like where to run the fuel line through the big cross member gusset, and we don't really want to run it up over that cross member. So a few things. We're running like a C5 style Corvette filter and fuel regulator. This is a great go-to filter that I use for the LS engines because it has the built-in return, built-in regulator, and it's also a GM factory part. They're a little bit pricey, about $150 for that filter regulator, but they look good, they're simple, and they're effective, and they work, and they last. So that's why I use those. But otherwise, you know, we've got this thing prepped. We're pretty much ready to go. Our next step here is to drop the engine and the transmission into the chassis, and then we'll be able to put the body on. So, you know, if you guys have watched the videos, it's a guessing game on how we notched the floor pans, and it was a guessing game on all of this whole chassis kick up and the transmission cross members. So I'm just praying like every single night that everything is just going to drop right in place, because we really don't have the time to go back and rebuild anything on the floorboards. So in the next few days, we'll make it happen. So that's it for today. Next week, we're gonna drop the body on, engine in, and we'll be driving this thing in no time. The Roadster Shop chassis is another piece to the madness puzzle that we are putting together in record time. So a big thank you to the Roadster Shop chassis. Check them out, roadstershop.com. Hey, next week we're putting together the 5.3 LS engine with tons of internal goodies from Brian Tooley Racing. I give you guys a little demo on installing a camshaft, and we finally dropped the body onto this chassis. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. What's up, everybody? Brian from Mackey's Hot Rod Shop with our YouTube channel, Mackey and Machine. We wanted to say thank you guys for subscribing. The numbers are growing way faster than we ever expected. So a quick overview, we're giving away a box of merchandise for every new 1,000 subscribers. We bundle everybody together, we pick one number, and we send out all this merchandise straight to your door. It's just a way to say thank you, so we really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, do so now, because we're continuing our content in a hot rod shop, bicycles, motorcycles, planes, trains, boats, all of it here on Mackey and Machine. We've got a ton of new content for you guys. The best part of all, real quick, is a 1944 giveaway as soon as we hit 50,000 subscribers. What do you have to do? Hit the subscribe button. That's it. We keep track of everything else. Thank you again. We'll see you on the next one.